What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of KittyTheCockatoo Plays Redwall. I must apologise that there's been a bit of a gap between this video and the last video. It's because I spoke to the developers and they said that they didn't want Let's Plays to play all the way through the game, so obviously I thought I'll stop videoing it then. And then I got an email back just the other day to say actually they take that back. So we're allowed to now finish the game. And sadly, because I'd already sort of started some new projects during that time, I now have to try and slot this one in between already existing projects. So I do apologise that this won't be as consistent as it used to be with how often I upload with it. It's also been a bit of time since I last played it, and I can't quite remember how the game works actually, so... or what we were exactly doing. I think we're trying to pickpocket from that rat. Somehow. But I bet... of course we can't fit through that gap. Of course. Can't possibly be that simple, can it? Really? Was it that simple? Alright. I'm also sorry if you hear any noises in the background. The puppet is currently asleep on the bed. So I can't really control if he dreams a lot and he might make a noise, so I do apologise. Really? Was that simple? Does that mean we can go through here now? Oh, we can. Alright! We made progress, guys. Like I said, I'm not very good at stealth games. And this game, I discovered last episode, is super buggy. Which does not help the whole not terribly good at stealth games thing. And the game can be quite frustrating at times. I mean, it was made by an indie team, and I think they've done a really good job, because it was quite an ambitious project. I just think that the only issue is that with like with all ambitious projects, I remember Kingdom Come Deliverance coming out, and I love that game. One of my favourite games of all time. But that was an absolute buggy nightmare when that first came out, because it was made by a smaller team. And obviously that comes with difficulties when you're doing an ambitious project. And then you've got things like Fallout and Elder Scrolls where it's just Bethesda. It's just Bethesda. It's not even that they've got a small team. It's just Bethesda. Like, why can't I, like, walk over rocks? What is this? Oh, look, it's a little memorial to Brian Jacks, the author. So here is my story. May it bring some smiles and a tear or so. It happened once upon a time outside the night wind, Keens and Wales. Come listen to me, the teller of tales. Imagination is a gift given to us from God, and each one of us uses it differently. I love book signings, kids waiting in line for you to scribble on their new books. Don't be ashamed to weep. 'Tis right to grieve. Tears are only water, but there must be sunlight. Also, a wounded heart will heal in time, and when it does, the memory and love of our lost ones is sealed inside to comfort us. That is really cute. That is a nice touch. Like, that is a really nice touch. I'm glad we like came over here now. That was something special, actually. That really was something special. Props to the developers of this game for that. Which way is the wind blowing? That way, so we are downwind. It's odd that like cartoon mice and rats scare the crap out of me. Like I don't know what it is. But when it comes to like stealth games, I'm always scared. Like, always scared. I don't know why. I think it's just the tension. Because you know that unlike with games where you can fight, it's like, oh, well, if I get caught, I'll just fight back. Oh, no. What? No.
Yes, yes. Remarkable. Saved us all with that quick wit and even quicker firebrand. None of us would have made it otherwise.
What's your condition?
Friar Thomas, are you alright?
Dear me. I'm not sure. Quite shaken to be sure, but alive. Unless we've both got onto the dark forest unawares.
Thomas?
Yes, yes. I'm still here at Sexton's Hill, though. I haven't seen you in several moons. I understand you've been rather busy with preparing and training. Am I correct? I'm quite happy to be sure. I hope you know that, just as I've always been right here with an open door and a warm heart, and perhaps a mug of plum brandy now you're a bit older, you can always count on this place for rest and good counsel. At least as good as I can offer. But, of course, now isn't quite the time, is it?
No, it's really not. Everyone's on fire and whatnot, Raiders.
Where did the rats come from? What do those savages want?
Sea rats, by the looks of them. Vicious scoundrels scavenging for supplies, most likely. They're cruel, but aiming more to steal than to kill. Or so I gather.
Sea rats?
Pirates, really. I've seen their kind regularly when I was near the coast. But these corsairs are far too inland. I can't imagine what brings them here. But it gets worse, I'm afraid. We were attacked by a mere scouting party, which means there are likely more behind them.
Continue.
Come now. Let me help you to your feet.
Thank you, child.
Oh, wow. I should have just continued playing this episode because we've ended up at the end of the level. We didn't get any rest. Oh, God. We literally didn't collect anything. I'm not much of a completionist. And some games I'll be a completionist like Spyro, but then there's others where I'm just like... Especially when I'm trying to do a Let's Play, I'm just thinking you guys don't want to watch me running around finding... I mean, if you do, just let me know, but I think I'd rather crack on with the story.
Surveying the broken remains of his graduation party, Liam was struck by several emotions at once. Anger, sadness, fear, and indignation. They all rose up in his heart together. But the strongest of all was the grim awareness that it was less than an hour ago that he was recklessly longing for adventure, only to find that Captain Robin was right. Living it was quite different than he'd imagined. Once he'd gathered his wits, the sextant told a tale how he'd been full front for the Corsair sneak attack and also for Sophia's courageous defense. Seeing his concern, the wizened old friar assured Liam that Sophia was quite all right, and that she'd drawn the beast away, allowing several villagers to escape in the ancient catacombs beneath Sexton's Hill. Liam was filled with pride for his brave, betrothed Sophia, but worried to learn that she'd insisted on running headlong into town to fend off the raiders. As the two mice peered northward with Liam's new wayglass, they spied a growing chaos of frightened mice and pillaging pirates. But Sophia was nowhere to be seen. Even worse, gathering to the south, they could see a long line of marching rats. The bulk of the attacking force was less than an hour's march away. With the road blocked and no cover, there was no way Liam could reach the lighthouse that way and remain undetected. But then the gentle friar revealed a secret passage in the crypts that led to a twisting maze of vaults and halls beneath the village. Perhaps the subterranean path would get Liam down to the water's edge. Handing him a lantern, the friar's last words hung in his heart like dead weight. Hurry, lad. Sophia is down there somewhere, and she's alone. After many twists and turns throughout the labyrinthine catacombs, Lilygrove's newest scout emerged near an enormous central atrium carved from the living limestone in the ancient past. If the bold mouse could remain calm and therefore undetected, he'd emerge just a short sprint from the decrepit lighthouse. But the confusing crypt slowed Liam down, and he was worried for his valiant Sophia. She may be dead or dying by now, and Liam worried he'd tarried too long.
If time was so important, then why'd they take the safe and slow path? I'd have run right into town and shown those brutish vermin what a mouse is made of.
My word, it certainly wasn't for lack of courage, my boy. I remind you, Liam was unarmed, but more importantly, untrained. These rats were veteran murderers, formidable in fang and skilled with the scimitar. Liam would have fought bravely, but died quickly. Stealth was his only option, not to mention Captain Robin's spoken imperative.
I bet those catacombs were perfect for playing blind mice bluff. Except you wouldn't even need a blindfold. Was anybody else sneaking around down there? People from the village, I mean?
Oh, very perceptive, William, and you're quite right. There were several frightened mice who'd taken refuge here when the attack began, only to find themselves trapped as the raiders came down afterwards, looking for food and treasures to steal. Liam, quite understandably, was flummoxed by the difficult choice set before him. It was only an hour earlier that he'd sworn a solemn vow to lend his aid in just these kinds of circumstances. These poor villagers were scared and in danger, likely to be captured, or worse, left on their own. But he also had the urgent mission to light the beacon, not to mention his growing concern for Sophia's condition.
Pish posh! That's not fair at all. Leave one to die or else the other. What sort of choice is that?
Alright, so I guess that's a hint at the fact that the side quest down here is to try and save the mice that are down here, and then the main quest is to continue towards the lighthouse. Oh, vermin don't notice. Oh, illuminate dark, find hidden clues. What's up? Vermin don't notice the light? I mean, that seems a bit crazy. Oh look, there's a glowing light in the distance, but that's clearly not a mouse. We'll just ignore that glowing light, shall we? No, it just doesn't make sense to me. I am debating whether to leave it there, but then I think we didn't really do a lot of gameplay. So, as much as that... I wish I'd known that we were... Oh! Wow. Wasn't expecting that. I wish I'd known I was so close to the end of that, like, mission before I stopped playing. Otherwise, I would have just kept going and then ended it there.
Remember your training. Most beasts only rarely look up. Hide up high. Move low and slow.
Okay, so H to toggle land. What does this say? Use doors to limit access. No key, no lock, no lock. Locked, unlocked.
And what damn in her right skull claim her own small brickbat? Again! As in if we beasts ain't already accused of being uncreative and dim.
Are these are fancy catacombs. I mean,
That's a right.
there's freaking a library down here. What kind of catacombs have a library?
In the way it sounds like. A rat's name has to inspire the proper disgust.
Oh, there's a key right down there. I guess it's telling me to lock one of the doors.
Oh, Blackwell, this'll never do. All I want to do is chat to the back. I don't know how to muzzle. He'll blouse me down. I've been killed by a doe. Round and round when a whirlpool on me. When there's rampage to be done.
I love all the banter.
Quick the booing. Like Blackwell.
Wait, have they spotted us? No. Oh, nah. I've literally got nowhere to hide down here. I mean, I still don't understand what items really do, but we're gonna take that. I'm just gonna climb up here, just to have a good look around. It's not a lockable door there, though. Ah, I get it. I get it now. I think I get it. I'm just gonna have a look, cause I'm sure, cause he was talking to someone, so there's not another rat around here. There's like a scroll down there, which my collective fun is telling me to go get it, but I mean, I've already missed so much. I've already missed so much other stuff. I think if this game remembered what you collected when you have a, and if it would let me jump onto the table. I think if it would like remember what you'd collected when you then... No, nah, we're just gonna leave that. You know it's there, guys, you know it's there. I mean, we're downwind. But where? There's like nowhere to hide around here. Can we have a checkpoint, please? That'd be great. I don't want to touch that. Oh, I touched it. That was a mistake. Right, so just want to close that door and leave it locked. Yeah, I feel safe behind that locked door.
There, bathed in silver moonlight, the Lilygrove Catacombs stood as a grand, if dusty, example of the craftsmanship of the moles. Long centuries before the spectacular vault was built by the mighty Runebro clan in celebration and gratitude of all that Lilygrove had become in its heyday, which even then was long, long ago. And though its splendor had faded in the steady flow of time, it was and still is one of the most majestic sights in all of Mossflower Country.
I mean, I can't remember anything like this in the books. This is pretty cool. No, the catacombs. Does it remember the catacombs of her dead bodies? I mean, that's a lot of dead things. I know it's a bit morbid to think, but it's true. Oh, hello, there's a mouse here. Hello.
Goodness me, a scout! I'm saved! Who are you? One of the river mouse urchins? Oh, Dibbons. Why in heaven are you playing dress-up at a time like this?
Excuse
Great
me?
Scott! You're right, Mrs. Ivywain. What was I thinking, burgling the scout call for official kit and sneaking down here to find you? I must have been knocked on the skull for sure. Am I bleeding?
There's no need for sarcasm, my boy. Please accept my apology. I was only pleasantly surprised. More to the point. What was it? Liam, I think? What are you going to do? There are rats everywhere.
No harm done, ma'am. I'm pleasantly surprised myself. For the rats, I'm working on that. But rest assured, I'll think of something.
Indeed.
Oh, this won't do. Not at all. Captain Robin needs me to fire the lighthouse beacon, and each moment is precious. But I can't leave such frightened creatures to their fates. Protecting Lilygrove is precisely what the scouts were chartered for. Oh, how can I possibly do both?
Did anyone else see him, like, just... what even? Let's take a lever here that I can't pull. Like, what was even going on there, honestly? Oh, I don't think I wanted to go through there. What happens if you press G? Oh, does that mean that she follows now? Or does that mean that we've collected her? And why did we open that door? I'm very curious about what we're doing. Right, well, I think I'll leave it there so that these episodes aren't too long. And because I think I need to have a bit of a think and figure things out right now. So yes, I am sorry that these videos won't be as consistent as they were. I'm going to try my best to do them as often as I can. But I also don't want to inundate people with too many videos. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the Lost Legends of Redwall. Doodles.